alt-right pipeline is out of control and it's radicalizing even the most normal people. And it's a spectrum. You know, I always think of it as like the beginning of the pipeline and the end of the pipeline. The end of the pipeline is someone who is going to write a manifesto citing our president and unalive female politician that he doesn't agree with. Real thing that has happened, by the way. That's maybe one example of this extreme side, or like the type of person who's gonna shoot up a synagogue or a mosque, or you know what I'm saying. And then like the early part of the pipeline are people who, you know, maybe always leaned a little liberal, but they're really into working out and crypto. And now all of a sudden, conservative ideals are making sense. And maybe they're not going to wear a MAGA hat, and maybe they're not even going to vote for Trump, but they wouldn't vote for Kamala because she just didn't have enough work history that was relevant, even though she had worked in all three branches of government. You know, that sort of thing. So it's a spectrum. I want you to think about the alt-right pipeline in that way. That's why it's called a pipeline. Like, are you at the beginning of the pipe, the middle of the pipe, the end of the pipe, somewhere in between? Like, it is a pipeline. It doesn't mean that just because you're in the alt-right pipeline, you're like super conservative, extremist, misogynistic, homophobic. But I think, especially living under the patriarchy, the beginning of the alt-right pipeline makes a lot of sense to people who have spent their whole life being indoctrinated by the patriarchy to think that like straight white male is the best thing you can be, and like a gay person or a woman or a black person or whoever isn't as good, because again, the patriarchy and white supremacy are besties holding hands, convincing everyone that that is the standard and everyone else is like less than or second class citizens. So when you've grown up with this ideology and you've had the privilege to not have to question it, when you go on the internet and look at your little gym video or look at your little crypto finance video because you want to learn this and that, and then 3 videos later you're like starting to get into the alt-right pipeline, like it's not immediately going to be people telling you to Roman salute or whatever. It's going to be subtle and it's going to be sneaky, and that's how it's radicalized. And it is subtle to people because this women hating, racially insensitive, homophobic, or probably not racially insensitive, flat out racist, like ideologies are structures that are holding America up systemically.